Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today in the arena we are checking in on a Soul Diviner Dimir deck. So I've played a few versions of Dimir control, and this is one that I've been trying out. Instead of using Augur of Bolus in this spot to put 3 cards on the bottom of your library because my Augurs never hit, I'm going to use Soul Diviner, because Soul Diviner is a 2/3 body for 2, which isn't terrible, and for a tap you can remove a counter from an artifact, creature, land, or planeswalker to draw a card. This deck has some planeswalkers, of course: Narset, Karn, Liliana. You can draw cards with all of those. It amasses using Enter the God Eternals. You can draw a card off your amassed creature, and it plays 4 copies of Blast Zone, so you can remove counters from the Blast Zone to draw cards. And if you remove a counter from your Blast Zone, you can blow up tokens, which actually comes up a lot more than you think it would. So that's pretty fun. Because I run Blast Zone in the mana base, 4 of them, which can really mess with your mana, I've also got 2 Dimir Guild Gates to smooth out the mana just a little bit. The matchup with red, we have lots of life gain in Vraska's Contempt and Enter the God Eternals, who will try to carry us in that matchup. For sweepers, we have 1 Cry of the Canarium, and I've got 2 Finales of Eternity. So Black X Mythic Sorcery, destroy up to 3 target creatures with toughness X or less. If X is 10 or more, return all creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. Well, we've only got a couple. Not that big of a deal to return these things, but Finale most often against like red mages is Black X and destroy 2 or 3 creatures. You only have to pay 1 or 2 to destroy 2 or 3 creatures usually of a red mages, so Finale does its work. Also over here you see that we've got some copies of the Elder Spell for the Planeswalker battles, and to kind of speedy ultimate Liliana by taking out our own Narset or Karn if necessary. It can be a dead draw against other red decks, but I'm willing to risk it. There's a lot of Planeswalkers out there. 3 Tyrant Scorn and 2 Cast Down make sure that we don't just get run over by creature decks, and Thought Erasure pretty much belongs in all the black-blue decks. Sideboard. We got Duresses and Negates for control-y type decks. We've got Moments of Craving for aggressive decks, and Cryocanarium for aggressive decks. We have the Elder Spell for more Planeswalker decks. And we have 4 copies of Thief of Sanity that we bring into the deck if the opponent is taking out their creatures, or if they're just really bad at killing an early 2/2 flyer. So playing the Thief of Sanity's shuffle, so to speak, of did they bring in Thief of Sanity or didn't they, is just one of the fun sideboard games that many decks play, and this deck plays it as well. Most of the time, you replace Narset. Narset has a 2 blue casting cost and comes down on turn 3, and Thief of Sanity can take its spot. If you don't think Thief will die, Thief does a very similar function to Narset. But, of course, every matchup is different, and I look forward to seeing sort of where we play the Thief subgame. So I introduced a sideboard. That means we're going to play some best of 3 in ranked. Let's go have some fun. HauntedFlower.com has thousands of licensed apparel designs. Licensed means it is legal for me to use the trademarked logos and such, and I paid a lot of money to make them, so please check it out. Game of Thrones t-shirts help you remember better times when characters you liked were still alive. Magic the Gathering Mana Symbol pants. Magic the Gathering Mana Symbol sleep pants. I don't always wear pants when I stream, but when I do, I wear these. All this and more shipped worldwide at hauntedflower.com. Use the promo code CGB to save 10% and support the channel at the same time. I'll take the play. Our hand has 2 lands, a removal spell, and a Thought Erasure. We'll need a blue source for this Narset. That's going to be the thing I'm on the lookout for the most. Watery Grave, a Drowned Catacomb would be super ideal, and we'll get a few looks at it. A draw step, and then a Thought Erasure Surveil, and another draw step. Red mana. What do you know? Alright, let's fire this off. Don't mana screw me against the red deck, please. That card has to go away. And, alright, we won't be mana screwed, and we'll have a cast down to use. Although we'll probably end up saving it for a Chain Whirler. Ouch. Land. Go. Does we get shocked? Is the opponent in that much of a rush? Yep, they got places to be. They probably feel it's right often enough to just hit the face. Zap! No Chain Whirler. Okay, they might have drawn the Mountain. I guess I'm willing to take a risk here and go after this Lava Runner then, since the opponent might be playing around a Sweeper. If they have the Mountain, they can deploy the Chain Whirler still. Ah, Steamkin. Good draw. And looks like Mana Screwed is me. Steamkin's not that scary yet.
Present and future are bound by threads of time.
The opponent only has one more spell, and it's a 3-coster.
An open mind.
I'll take that Tyrant Scorn. Put up some resistance, I hope. And there's that Chainsy Whirlsies. Any land off the top is so good. She doesn't like loud noises. She's like, so much commotion. Oh no. And the opponent thinking about getting rid of the Narset versus just kind of halting the Narset. Let's say go. See if our opponent commits to the board some more. Getting Mana Screwed in this matchup sure is painful, I've gotta say. It's just so demoralizing when you know you could have had a very good matchup.
I was not prepared for this.
That's how I feel. Alright. It's now or never. I guess it will be never, as the opponent will almost certainly get to burn me out this turn. They checked the graveyard. Maybe they drew a Lava Runner? Yeah, that's it. So, if they attack with all, we can Tyrant Scorn a Chain Whirler, but we still take 5. So we'll just pack it up instead. And that will be a very insanely sad and tragic game 1. Alright, the Elder Spells can take a break. Even though Chandra's coming in, we can rely on Vraska's Contempt to deal with it. Karn's pretty horrible in the matchup, but we still need powerful endgame, so Liliana gets to stay. I'm 100% looking at Moment of Craving and Cry of the Canarium to buy me some time. We can also hit their hand a bit with Duress, or we can try to negate Frenzies off the top, which sounds important enough to put in the deck. I'm just wondering if I need to trim anything else. Like Narset, are you of particular use here? Probably not, to be honest. I mean, we do need card advantage. And Narset gets us basically 1 card before trading with a Lightning Strike or something like that. Yeah, there's a good chance we just don't get card advantage without some of these cards in the deck. Karn is one of those. But maybe Liliana will do that job for us. Alright, we have a ton of early removal. Will be kind of hard to run over. We have some negates for Frenzies off the top. We have Narsets to dig for other spells. Let's try it. I still feel like the matchup shouldn't be as bad as it just looked, but mana is still a part of the game. Okay. We kept a 2-lander last time, we'll keep a 3-lander this time. We've got early removal spells to not get run over, and we have Enter the God Eternals, which should matter a lot. Liliana should also matter a lot. Alright, our opponent without the early creature. Usually the red deck is going to side into being a much larger deck after sideboarding, and that's something I think that we can take advantage of. Let's go ahead and get this off the board immediately. I suppose I could have played a Blast Zone to start putting charge counters on it. Might have been a mistake. Starfleet Daredevil. Alright, you got a Tyrant Scorn, but you can't do anything with it. We could play this Watery Grave tapped, which sets up Enter the God Eternals. I like that. And we'll say go and see if this Daredevil's worth a Tyrant Scorn. But the thing is, I want there to be a creature on the board when we enter the God Eternals, so... when we play Enter the God Eternals. Something sounded wrong there. Rekindling Phoenix. It's a good Vraska's Contempt target. I can resolve, so that we can contempt it. Here is Blast Zone. Let's get the Phoenix off the board immediately and just be done with it. I'm okay with taking a few hits from the Daredevil. We're not under tremendous pressure or anything. And there's a Frenzy. Alright, well, because of the Frenzy, I think it's definitely time to get Liliana going.
If I were you, what a good
It's a lot of loyalty, and the opponent will need a pretty hot Frenzy to take care of it. Alright, they found Tibble, which the life gain is super annoying.
I adore an audience.
But our plan is just to use this Liliana to get to ultimate and crush the opponent that way. Thought Erasure doesn't really matter. Moment of Craving and Tyrant Scorn can take out 2 creatures, or Enter the God Eternals can take out 1 without life gain. Which is bad, and not really what I'm looking to do. So, I like saving the God Eternals right now, and trying to find at least some way to deal with this before I use it. That might be greedy, because making a 4/4 and taking the opponent's creature off the board is probably a pretty good thing. Also, playing both of my 2-cost cards, I don't love it. So yeah, let's body up. Let's get all the bodies on the field and get one of these cast, even though we don't get the life this turn. And as far as milling the opponent, let's not make their get 2 lava runners better. Let's mill ourselves instead. And let's see what kind of a frenzy you can have.
My assistants are painfully slow.
Land? What's gonna happen? Go. Go is gonna happen. Interesting. I can't really stop the Devils from getting to the Liliana, so it's not going to ultimate next turn, but I could send the creatures for the Tybalt. I could also minus this and draw some cards, but I hate that. Let's see what happens here. So there's our attacks. Full control. Let's lock that in, but let's use the Tyrant Scorn here to kill the Daredevil and save the Moment of Craving because it has some life gain. Or this does kill a Chain Whirler, so maybe I'm just supposed to Moment of Craving the Direfleet Daredevil, not overthink the life gain. Let's go for that. Now what? Do you chump for this Tybalt? If you don't, I'll play the God Eternals. If you do, then I think we'll just make another creature, hold up the Scorn, pump a Blast Zone. Sounds best. Alright, they're going after the 4/4. Well, we have a little bit of a blowout option with the Scorn. We can bounce one of these and keep our 4/4. But that also redirects bolt damage, which makes it harder for the opponent to kill the Liliana. They have to have exactly the right removal.
I guess I cracked first.
Here come those devil triggers. Card. Love cards. Cards are great. Soul Diviner. It's pretty good. Here's Lily.
Like a fun new toy.
The Diviner probably has to die, so I'll put it out there. We can't also cast the Scorn, though. That was not something I really expected, drawing the Soul Diviner and then being stuck without the right mana, but it's the way it goes. It might have tipped the scales in favor of holding a Moment of Craving instead. Alright, the opponent hits a Daredevil. What will they do with it? They're picking a Vraska's Contempt. That's really obnoxious. But that is also all but one of their mana. And there it is.
Fine, I'll leave.
Not what I thought would happen. Alright. Let's go ahead and charge this up. Land off the top. Let's bury this and start getting some damage in, although I think the Diviner drawing cards is pretty slick too. I may as well tap it. I'm not going to use it right now. Oh wait, there's only 2 colors here. So I have to untap this one. So there's my 2 colorless sources, then I need 2 blue sources, 1 black source. Okay. Doesn't matter how I tap from there. Tune our sets into the bin. Land for the turn. Let's get the attacks. Don't think drawing a card now matters, and I can leave up this blocker for a potential Gitu Lava Runner, but I could also just thought erase the opponent. Which, why not? Seeing if their hand is terrible or not. That's a lot of frenzies. I guess I'll take away the burn spell so they don't get into this spot where they can sack frenzy and hit me with burn for lethals. Another diviner is interesting. The opponent undoubtedly eventually their frenzy will be able to kill these, but for now they're keeping pressure on, so let's keep it. This is going to be ugly. It's going to be me with my fair card advantage spells versus experimental freaking frenzy.
Hey, over here.
Okay. Chain Whirler is super annoying. What else you got?
There's no problem fire can't solve.
Alright, no attacks. Let's go ahead and draw off one of these zones. There's a moment of craving. Can take out the Chain Whirler, gain 2 life. And the Chain Whirler does get to block something, but I think it's better to use the Scorn. So let's destroy our Chain Whirler friend out of the way. Let's move on in and send all the creatures at the face. Down to 8. Let's play another Diviner. Hold up the Moment and a Blast Zone activation and see where this goes. This should be a really epic frenzy turn for the opponent, but they end up paying 3 right away for Light Up the Stage. I would have exiled that with Chandra. It's just a lot to pay on such a crucial turn. Alright. Opponent finds their Chain Whirler, takes a chunk out of our creatures, but it's an expensive card.
This is just gonna be bad for you.
That's Wizard's Light? A Legion War Boss, not castable. Lightning Strike. Okay, takes out our best threat. But we're a removal spell off the top from doing this. Actually, we can charge this to 3, and that's game, right? I guess the opponent does have to use this Firebrand now rather than block to take lethal off the battlefield. So that's what they do. Alright, let's charge up. There's my land. Colorless, colorless. Actually, we might want one of those back. Set this off. Kill the Chain Whirler. Go face. I have a lot of regrets about not making an 8/8 zombie army when I had the chance to be honest. But there's still a chance here. We'll need the opponent to fizzle. They're probably not going to be very accommodating in that way. They've played well. I have no doubt I'm up against a significantly talented red mage. Here's Tybalt. Tybalt can make a blocker. I can blow it up because my Blast Zone has no counters on it, but it would blow up my own zombie as well. Perhaps their frenzy is stalled and they have to sacrifice it to play another card. No, they're going to scoop it instead. Okay, here we go. We survived. We survived the crazy frenzy. Now we've got to survive the Tybalts. So we saw Chandra, we saw Tybalt. Maybe the Elder Spell isn't crazy. On the draw, it's particularly bad. But it's probably better than Narset. So I'm going to go with this lineup. The opponent appears to have sideboarded out some of their faster threats. We definitely didn't see... Well, we saw a Vioshino Pyromancer, we saw a Lava Runner. I guess they just shaved. We saw all the same creatures that the red deck usually runs, so it doesn't look like they pulled too many creatures. So I think that that means I can't pull too many removal spells. Alright, let's get back in there. We did see Shock, that's for sure. Which makes me wonder if bringing back in Thief of Sanity makes sense. Oof. Not enough early interaction. It's not good. That makes it a little bit better. I just can't go to 5 there, I don't think. The opponent has the early Lava Runner. If the opponent plays another 1-drop, we might... Okay, they have a Pyromancer. I was going to say we might be trying to set up a Blast Zone to hit 1-drops, but they've got the 1-2 punch. Let's try for the Soul Diviner. Maybe we'll catch him without a Lightning Strike. We didn't see many Wizards Lightning either. It seemed like they'd cut a lot of burn spells, but they were ready with the Lightning Strike this time. Okay, I think we also could have seen a Goblin Chain Whirler there if they had it. They're going to light the stage. Oh no, it's one of those really good draws. So, rather than rely on a blocker, which is probably not going to pan out, it's definitely time to start killing the opponent's creatures. Let's see what they do. But they have a really good draw. We have a really weak draw. And why haven't I drawn a Cry of the Canarium? Or a Finale to Eternity. Those would be the cards here. There is the Chain Whirler. Jesus. Oh, hit some mountains, would ya? Alright. Alright. They're going to want to cast one of these Chain Whirlers, which means the Diviner might last a turn, and we're going to cast down the other one. Never mind. Opponent has a draw of the gods. It's just the way it's going to be today. Alright, cast down one of them. Another's coming. And we'll have to draw like a perfect answer. We need Finale to Eternity off the top or Enter the God Eternals. We have a lot of those in the deck. But they're not going to be there for us. My god. Alright, Liliana comes down next turn. The opponent doesn't kill us here unless they specifically draw a Lightning Strike. Or another Lightning Bolt effect, of course. And is it another creature? It's a mountain. Alright, you're telling me there's a chance?
I am the master here. Get out of my way!
Get out of my way. Brick. Yes! It's kind of a brick that we return the favor with. Alright, away we go. I just can't. My soul. Alright, we'll take the play. We'll take a Thought Erasure on 2. See what happens. Lobster Rage Fest. All sleeved up with their Bolus Avatar. We're surely fighting somebody who's tricked out, and if they're not playing Grixis, I'm calling a shenanigans. Shenanigans. This is shenanigans. Your Lord Bolus would be disappointed. Thought erasure. Runaway Steamkins got to go. On the other hand, we could leave it because if the opponent plays these two creatures, they pile up for much more damage much quicker. But so does Steamkin. I mean, Steamkin is just, yeah, we just can't be doing that. We definitely keep land number 5. We need Enter the God Eternals on time, and then Liliana as well, to be in this game. Next turn we're not doing anything, so the turn after that, the opponent will strike us, they'll shock us, they'll attack us for 5, that'll take 10 damage. Vraska's Contempt will have to bridge the gap to the turn after that, and Enter the God Eternals has to complete the comeback. So, can the opponent do it? They cannot play the 2 spells. They didn't draw land. Or they did, and they're taking a very cautious route to the game. Let's see what it is. Okay, they didn't draw the land. Call myself a lucky guy. Let's go ahead and pass the turn. If the opponent goes for... Okay, so let's go ahead and kill this. No, we can save it. What I really want is my opponent to play this shock. Because if they have a shock available when I go for Enter the God Eternals, they can prevent the 4 life gain by shocking their own creature. So I actually want them to go for this. And here it is. Creatures are strong. Here they come. Alright, last second Contempt here on the Lava Runner. A little bit of life before a little bit of damage, and probably a little bit of lighting a stage or skewering a critic. Let's see. There's the stage. Land is found, and so is Chandra, which that can be a problem. If the opponent finds another land off the top, that's a big problem. Let's go ahead and kill the Lava Runner. I often mill myself, and the reason being risk factor, although we haven't seen much of that. Plus, filling the opponent's graveyard for their Lava Runner. We might exile something from the yard sometime, somehow. And away they go, and there's my 4/4. Okay, the opponent didn't draw the land for the Chandra, but they might have another one in their hand based on how the game's played out. Fanatical Firebrand. Okay. Island. Let's drop the Liliana Dreadhorde General.
This isn't your average zombie horde. Impressive.
I think that the right play is to start attacking. We need to turn the corner. The opponent must die, and they must die very soon. Alright, the opponent finds a Pyro. Where does it go? It goes for Lily.
Don't be pushy.
So the opponent's chosen to go after Liliana. That's going to probably be messy for them. Alright, let's make another Zombo. It's feeling good. The spot is not terrible. Let's send the army. Keep sending the army. Down to 12. Alright, Soul Diviner. Soul Diviner can draw cards from Liliana or the zombie army, although I'm not sure if either one is a good idea at this point in the game. Size matters against red mages. Opponent points a lightning strike at the Diviner. That'll draw us a card from Liliana, keeping us in the game.
Lousy servant anyway.
Hi, Karn. Are you Karn? I am Karn. Alright. Liliana, keep ticking. Still not in a hurry to minus this here.
Good help is easy to find in war.
And I think we just want to pressure. Lots of pressure. It's time to get this opponent as dead as we can. Cards like Experimental Frenzy and Chandra get a lot better over time. Our cards are just kind of average card advantage cards compared to those. Here's Karn. Let's go ahead and make a creature.
Evil must not be tolerated.
I think that having the creature is better than the plus at this point. which will probably just get us more lands, but creatures can get in the way and run some blocking duty for Liliana. When it goes face, down to 9. Stage got lit. Those are land. And that's a scoop 'em up for game 1 with Vraska's Contempt and Enter the God Eternals able to bring us back. Alright, Mono Red. Let's bring out some Cries. Let's bring out some Cravings. We saw a Chandra, so having access to at least an Elder Spell doesn't seem bad. I often like Duresses and Negates, but I'm not sure if I'll have enough cards to bring out. So, Narset, usually too hard to defend and basically taking a turn off. Liliana's still the hammer that we need. Karn is very hard to defend, but the loyalty's high. And you do have to get ahead on cards somehow. So, I enjoy Karn. Finales and all the early removal to keep the opponent from killing me. I guess that means we don't have a ton of room for cards like Duress and Negate. Soul Diviner is good because it demands to be lightning struck, but it's also a little bit weak. So I think we just want to trim some amount of these. Maybe the Duress doesn't really pull it here. We already have 4 Thought Erasures, and if you Duress the hand a bit too early, but we're on the draw. On the draw we really want, I think we want Duress a little more than Negate on the draw, just as a cheap play that we can make. Okay, so I'm feeling something along these lines. Is Karn like that much better than Narset? Narset just usually comes down, eats a lightning bolt. It's also a little bit hard to cast. Double blue isn't always right there, but we're running Cry, so it's probably some kind of a split might be better, just so that we don't end up with too many cards in our hand. And I'll err on the side of cheaper since we're on the draw. All right. Let's go do some battle. We do, of course, have to have those Enter the God Eternals on time. Narset does contribute to that. And we do have the early Duress, but we also have the tap land. So we can go tap land, the next turn tap land Duress. Seems okay. Our opponent with the mulligan. So I'm liking our chances early. We're not going to get run over, and we're going to have life gain. The trick is going to be, does Experimental Frenzy come off the top and destroy us? There's one of them. We could also take away this Tybalt, but I'm not as scared of it. But yeah, the Frenzy definitely needs to go. And then next turn we can also take away the Chandra. Let the opponent have their Tybalt and their tokens. They're not pressuring our life total that much, so the lack of life gain doesn't hurt the way it would in a different situation. Alright, so we can let the opponent have the Chandra because we can take it out with a Vraska's Contempt. I'll keep the Diviner. The opponent doesn't have a removal spell right now. And the Diviner might just be able to attack away the Tybalt.
I adore an audience.
Alright, what was off the top? And is it really competing with Chandra here?
When people start screaming, I know I'm on track. Sit back and
Okay,
watch it burn.
Mountain exiled. Would have preferred to see an Experimental Frenzy or something of that nature get exiled, but that's the way it is. Here's the Contempt.
Here.
We are done here. No life gain because of Tybalt. I think that's okay at this stage. The opponent did find a Frenzy, so what can you do when their draw is gonna do that? Alright. I guess we can double charge this, double charge it the next turn, and in 3 turns blow it. It's pretty bad. I don't like that. But we can cry these and get Diviner on the battlefield, so we have something going. And then maybe if the opponent has a weak Frenzy that just leaves out, say, 1 creature, we can Enter the God Eternals it and try to tempo our opponent, beat the beatdown. Double Frenzy, okay, lock it in. We're going to be playing Frenzy games this game. Get rid of Tybalt.
Well, this wasn't very fun.
Let's get Narset down.
Those who cannot, I have just the trick for this.
I suppose, well, I can't cast the Thought Erasure this turn. But Duress basically does nothing, so I'll take the Thought Erasure, mostly for the power of the Surveil later. And we'll kick it on over. Blast Zone can tick up. Soul Diviner can draw cards with the Blast Zone. We'll decide how relevant that is. Here's a Wizard's Lightning. All 3 mana spent for the Narset. So far, the Experimental Frenzy hasn't run us over. Things are going okay. Let's go ahead and fire off one of these Thought Erasures. And we'll take away the burn spells, so if the opponent ever does get out from under Frenzy mana, they can't just throw a bunch of burn at our face. So we could cast another here. Or we could charge up this Blast Zone. I think I'm better off just drawing a card here, but I don't have to do it yet. I can wait till my opponent plays some stuff. This right now can brick wall a Lava Runner. As much as I do need to turn the corner, I also need cards to keep up and fight back with. Okay, our opponent pulls Tybalt off the top. It's not a terrible hit.
I decided to capture you. My friend is here to help your pain.
Do I want... Okay, Liliana. That is a lot of pressure. So, let's keep charging. I was going to say, I could try to take it down to 0 to wipe out the tokens, but I don't love that. Let's get this going. The sooner we potentially ultimate the Liliana, the stronger. The opponent with a stop on the upkeep. Let's see where they send this bolt. They're going to go for the Diviner. Give me another card. Vraska's Contempt. Can get rid of Tybalt if that's the way we decide to roll. Keep the cards coming. Liliana doing work. Another Thought Erasure, though, is not ideal. The opponent takes their draw step. Now let's see what they got. Mountain. Legion Warboss. Another token. We need another Cry of the Canarium pretty badly. Okay. Going face. Is that what I see? It is. No, we'll block like this. Let that devil go. Then we can turn around and attack. And attacking the Tybalt is kind of a big game. So, what's the plan? Contempting the Tybalt so we have life next turn is one option, but I really just want to get the God Eternal's cast, to be honest. And that's 5. The other 2 can go towards a Thought Erasure. No, it can't, because I don't have the blue mana. That's too bad. Then maybe I don't want to cast the God Eternals. Maybe it is better to get Karn cooking. This is a close one. Well, for starters, I like attacking the Tybalt and seeing what the opponent does about that. It certainly implies that we have life gain. The opponent could trade a devil for this zombie, but I get a card for that. So do they want to turn on my life gain or give me a card? Looks like the choice might be a card, although they don't have to kill the zombie. Totally lost art. Okay, they don't kill the zombie. Alright. Then I think I like making more zombies. And let's do the God Eternal thing. It's not going to gain life this time, but let's get rid of the Warboss. Let's see. The opponent has a spell on top, right? Well, it might be a land. Yeah, they did hit 2 land. They are tapped out completely, though. Let's mill them, not us, because, well, I guess we already have a Contempt. I'm thinking about Direfleet Daredevil. And that's one of the ways that our Liliana can go wrong, but we already have a Contempt in our yard. Yeah, I'm going to mill them. I'm probably overthinking it significantly. Yeah, that's a good set of cards to throw in the bin. It's also not like it's impossible for the opponent to mill themselves playing Frenzy. Alright, here is Steamykins. Does our opponent hit enough 1-drops to follow up? Nope, they hit a Chain Whirler.
Your boldness is so cute.
Okay. My turn. A Tyrant Scorn is a pretty convenient draw. We can blow up the Chain Whirler, then I'm probably thinking Contempt the Steamkin. But we can't attack until after we blow up the Chain Whirler. And I want very much to start attacking. So we'll send one zombie over here, and we'll send the rest to face. That way, if the opponent wants to keep protecting Tybalt, they're throwing away their devil. I like it. We'll also see if they keep tagging the Liliana. They do keep tagging the Liliana.
Do not ruin my dress.
Alright, keep that coming.
But effective.
Let's get the Steamkin exiled. We have 10 power on the battlefield now. And we'll see if the opponent has the tools to basically hit a good frenzy and get back on the board. There's the Daredevil, but they're short of mana. Lucky us. Scorn, though, can take out the zombie army if that's the line they want to take. Tough choices. I mean, there's a Cry of the Canarium that they could play if they want to wipe out a bunch of my zombies. They take the Contempt, so do they have the land? Or are they... They must, okay. So that's going to be their whole turn. It's the second time today my Liliana's been contempted by herself. Maybe I'm supposed to take those out against Direfleet Daredevil. And this Daredevil is going to be a pain. The first strikeness is a problem. Let's go with the Karn, see what we find.
You may regret that choice.
2 removal spells, but one of them is stronger than the other. The opponent gives it to me, though. Turn on my life gain for next turn. Chumps, really defending Tybalt. Holy cow. I mean, they're basically expecting an amazing turn. I don't like throwing away that Daredevil, but I don't know. Everything's, I guess, kind of short for this world. Let's go ahead and spend... I guess we don't have any 2-drops on the battlefield, and 2-drops are something the opponent could hit. The Daredevil was a problem. Runaway Steamkin's a problem. So rather than Thought Erase, let's pass the turn and plan to charge the Blast Zone. Alright, what kind of a frenzy turn can you have? Alright, they're going to start firing away at tokens. Another frenzy, okay. Charge it up. It's probably time to make an 8/8, and I believe I can target my own creature because it all happens at once. No, there's a period. I do have to target something else. Let's go ahead and use the Karn to get deeper. Although land is so bad, let's not. Let's just have a cast down ready to go. Target here, yes. You, yes. Make an 8/8. Not worried about the life gain, really. Let's try to close this game out. Guess I can take Tybalt off the battlefield, but the opponent might just play another one. It's a free shot, and the opponent will be at 8 anyway. Yeah, let's go for it. Let's get rid of the Tybalt.
I guess I cracked first.
And let's hold up the mana. No, having this on 2 is good. Let's go ahead and use a Thought Erasure and surveil the top of our deck. You can go. Well, they're never going to get out from under it, so it doesn't really matter what I take. Finale of Eternity. That can wipe a board if it's full of creatures to try to block this. So let's see what you got. Have a nice frenzy. There's one creature. There's one land. There's 2 creatures.
Please do not do that.
Yeah, please don't do that. Alright. There's a war boss. There's a light up the stage. I can keep my opponent from having this token. Does it matter? Yeah, keeping them on 3 creatures matters. But this should be game. They've already played a land, so this is it. And they are down to 13 cards in the deck, by the way. All right, 1, 2, 3. Bang. Finale, out of there. Opponent thinks that's nice, and that will do it. A little revenge against the Red Mage and all their frenzy shenanigans. All right, got him. It was honestly a tough day for Diviner Dimir, and showing you 2 red matches isn't usually ideal, but I can promise you the other matches I lost were worse. I like the deck. I think I had pretty bad luck today, and I do think you should try it out. I don't think that best of 3 meta with Esper midrange and red aggro everywhere, and the amount of card advantage that's pretty much unfair and hard for Dimir to remove. I don't think it's a good meta call, honestly, to play Dimir control. But if you love it, you always end up going back to it. Thank you for watching this video. As always, I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.